Hey Wargamers, Doug here from 2 Plus Stuff, and I had kind of an interesting week. I had 4 people email me the same question, and I thought that because apparently everyone's in the mood to talk about it, we should discuss selling your army. Now I want to preface here with a few things. These specific emails that I was getting were not asking me, hey, should I quit the game, right? It's just I have multiple projects and armies. Should I sell one of those off? So I'm not going to tell you to like quit doing whatever game you love or anything like that. And the second part is I can't preface enough just my opinions. This is just the core idea of this whole video is just, hey Doug, people know that I swap a lot of armies. I do projects and that kind of stuff. What are your suggestions on when you know it's time to get rid of a project and how do you do so? Well, by way of demonstrating my expertise in hobby ADD, I probably swap armies every 3 to 5 months, something like that. I just get tired of painting the same thing and I want a new painting project. And so I go out and I expand and I get that. So that's basically how it goes. And I do a few things. I'll either sell it on eBay or do some direct trading. I have some tips for you here at the end of the video. But the thing is, to answer the real question, when I am asked the question, should I sell my army? I have exactly 2 principles in mind that are baseline, the core idea. Okay, number 1, you have to have no regrets. Okay, like you don't want to put your army up on eBay, it sells, and then as you're packing it up, that's when like Sarah MacLeod starts to play and everything gets kind of sad as you're like, I remember the memories of this Keeper's Secrets. I remember when Catacross was the scariest thing on the table, all these kinds of stuff. You don't want that. Instead, only get rid of it if you have no regrets. And a great way to practice that, quite frankly, is to just put them in storage and forget about them. Like, one of the people mentioned to me that they wanted to bone splitters. They weren't sure if they wanted to keep them or not. And so I said, here's what you do. Put them in a big bin, throw them in a closet, and just ignore them. And if in a month you have no desire whatsoever to own them, to play them, to see what they have going on, if you're not wanting anything for that faction, like you're not looking forward to a Broken Realm supplement for them or anything like that, then get rid of them. They're not adding to your joy, so you won't have any regrets. That's probably my number 1 piece of advice. Don't do anything rash. Put it away. See if you miss it at all. And again, try to avoid the Sarah MacLeod moment as you're packing it up. The second thing that I think is important is to have something to look forward to. By this, I mean, whenever I do my army trades, people get really caught up on the fact that, oh, Doug gets rid of things very quickly and don't really spend as much time thinking about the fact of, oh, Doug is now really excited for whatever the next thing is. And I usually have a reason for why I'm excited for the next thing, whether it's a release or a thematic battle or something like that. My point is, selling your stuff just to sell it, I think has the possibility to lead to a lot of regrets. Okay, and we're trying to avoid those. Having something you're looking forward to, whether it's reinvesting the money that you get from that sale into a force that you are excited about, or a new faction coming out, or something like that. It could even be just a different game, or maybe something around the house that you can, improve your life. Just look forward to something with it, because what I want to avoid is that feeling of, I gave something up that you invested time and effort into by painting and building and all this crap, and you got nothing for it. Like, that's the part that hurts people the most, because when you get down and you get sad, then you're like, man, I wish I had that army. You know what I mean? Whereas if you exchange it for something, and now you have something else to get excited about, it doesn't feel like a loss. It feels like a gain. And this is why, these 2 ideas of no regrets and having something to look forward to, it's why I ask people to really think about why they're selling their armies so much, right? Is it for the newest, hottest thing? Like, how many people are dumping their armies to jump on Soulblight Gravelords? I mean, if according to any internet post, all of them, right? It's like, that's a dumb idea. Not everyone's going to do that. I would say if you are thinking about that, wait a few weeks after Soulblight comes out and get a sense of the rules first before you start. I mean, you can buy models, but just don't maybe dump the ones you already have painted and built and put work into. Hold off on getting rid of your current army just until you're absolutely sure this is exactly what you want to do. In addition to that, if you're like a Legions of Nagash player and you got into Nagash because you like vampires, then there's no risk, right? You already know this is what you wanted because it didn't exist before, but it's something you hoped for. Then if that's you, go nuts. Like seriously, just have at it. Is it because you actively dislike the army right now? I mean, there's quite a few people, I'm just going to throw it out there, selling Idoneth, Deepkin, and Sylvaneth armies because, quite frankly, the game has evolved in such a way that those aren't necessarily the most fun things anymore for them. If that's the case and they're not bringing you joy, absolutely exchange it for something that is going to bring you joy. Have you played an army so much that it feels stale, or have your taste changed where, maybe you used to be like a very narrative focused gamer, but you started going to events and you had a great time and now you want to get into the more competitive aspects and you need a different army to do that, or vice versa. Competitive folks kind of chilling a little bit, getting into the ridiculousness of narrative gaming. Taste change over time, absolutely. So I guess what I'm really getting at is think about these questions, why you want to get rid of it. That will address how you can do so with no regrets and something to look forward to. Whether it's getting into a different game, clearing out stuff just to get literally room in your home back to you, or for your missus or something like that. Having a goal makes, again, like it feel like you're not losing something, but in fact you have a lot to look forward to in your hobby. This wasn't wasted time or potential or effort. It's going somewhere. Now, as for where to sell your stuff, there's a few options that I've used. I'm just going to list off the ones that I've done. I got eBay, Facebook buy-sell trade groups, Reddit. The R mini swap is actually a really wonderful place. And of course, local trades. I'll be honest, I know eBay takes a big cut. They have as of recently. My thing with them though is I love the cleanliness of, I just throw it up there, somebody pays for it, they give me a shipping label, I slap it on a box and it's gone. Like I view that as I'm paying for that convenience and I'm okay with that. For anything that's like Reddit or Facebook, I feel like there's a few things to kind of keep in mind to keep yourself safe. One thing that I always recommend, whether the group requires it or not, is if you're going to buy something off somebody or sell something to them, ask them for a picture, right, with their names and the date on it. Okay, it's a quick way to prove that they actually have the things you want to trade and swap. I did this. I traded, I think it was some Tyranid models that I inherited. Like they were extra bits in an eBay deal, and I was just wanting to get rid of them. I did that, so I took the picture with Tyranid bits. He took the picture with whatever he had, and we swapped that way. That way, you just confirm that they actually have it. They didn't steal this from a local Craigslist post, and they're just faking you out. Ask them why they are getting rid of it. Look for any red flags, something like that. Just anything that you can do to validate some of the experiences that they're having. If you're buying, I do recommend using PayPal protection, that kind of stuff. Like I just say PayPal because it's the main one that I use when I'm sending money to people. But they, again, it costs a little extra. I promise it's worth it, because if you get ripped off and you don't have any way of protecting yourself, then it's very much worth it. And that's one of those things I've only appreciated as I got older, was having a little bit of protection feels good. As for local trades, always meet somewhere public. Game stores if you can. If you do meet at a game store, definitely tell the owner that you're going to be swapping stuff so it doesn't look like someone just walked in and walked out with somebody else's property. I had that happen to me once. The guy ran out. I was like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "We traded." And he's like, "Oh, okay." He was fine with it. He didn't have context for seeing me walk in with some stuff and walk out with somebody else's. So go ahead and do that. Also, some states have rules and laws against trading inside public places. You might have to go out to your car to do it, that kind of thing. And as always, whenever I swap stuff in a store, buy a thing of paint, toss a coin to the store owner, because they're not making money off this transaction. So I'm just throwing that out there. And so I wanted to kind of wrap this discussion up by just saying, trading armies and that kind of stuff, it's not, I don't know, it's not something that like I hate collecting or hoarding. I have limited space. And I am somebody who enjoys the painting project, not necessarily the individual models, right? Like, I'm not going to buy like the big centerpiece models to paint them up just for fun. I don't have a display cabinet, really. This is just an old shelf with some of my Warcry stuff on there so I can access it very quickly. But really what I'm saying is I just enjoy this hobby for meeting people, getting out there, swapping things around. I like the thrill of the hunt. Like, some people really love going garage sale hunting. I like doing that for miniatures. It just is what it is. But as long as you're protecting yourself, So you have no regrets. Again, no regrets. And 2, you're looking forward to something, no matter what it is, right? Maybe you sell an army to fix the garage door. It doesn't matter. Every time you open that garage door, it's going to feel worth it. That kind of stuff, where it's like just keeping in mind the things that are going to make you the most happy and the most rewarded for your decisions and your time and your effort that you put into these armies. I think that is definitely going to lead you down the right path. But anyway, friends, I would love to hear your thoughts. What is the best army trade or sale that you have made where you have no regrets whatsoever and you're only like you're happy about it? For me, that's a tough one for me. I think for me it would be probably maybe the Iron Jaws. Like I didn't care for the blue scheme that I actually landed on, and I got kind of despondent not painting them like early on. I kept going because I had a bunch of them. I wanted to be on rerolling ones, with my hero, Jack and Shu and Brent, because those guys they got it all together. But I think that one where I was like, it sucked so much out of me to get the paint scheme at a way that I thought was comfortable with it. I didn't love it, and it just kind of soured the army for me a little bit because everything was kind of looking a little rough. So I was more than happy to get rid of that one. That one I have zero regrets on. The Bone Splitters, every once in a while I have a twinge where I'm like, a bunch of angry naked orcs. I could go for that. But I digress. Anyway, thank you all so much for watching and listening. Let me know your best trades in the comments down below, and I'll talk to you then. Happy wargaming.